Check out this old church. Founded prior to the Norman conquest, 12th and 13th centuries. This place is proper old. So here I am today at this old medieval church, which is located on the Isle of Wight. It's called St George's Church and it's in a place called Arreton. It's proper old. Let's go inside and have a look, see if I can get some nice photographs using the available light that's coming in through the windows. Check out this old church bell. Look, the date of this bell, it says there 1699. Not only do you get nice photographs inside churches, you get a little tiny bit of history as well. If you just look around and study some of the artefacts that are sitting around this church, it's quite amazing to see. You know, you almost throw yourself back in time. It's like a big time machine. And churches are a beautiful example of available light. Now when I come in here, there's these massive stained glass windows, beautiful pillars, lovely ornate pews and chairs and seats and tables, gorgeous rooftop beams, and when you look around you can see light is just wrapping itself around everything. It's bending and shaping, and I'm just looking around now thinking there's so many photo opportunities in here for available light, and also some nice photo opportunities for some nice prints. I did come here the other day, and those that follow me on Instagram will know that I took a photograph in this church. I was handheld. I wasn't actually intending to come inside the church. I was doing stuff outside. When I came in, I was on FP4 and I shot it handheld, but the sun was coming through that window so bright, it was a little bit tricky to control. So I had to do a little bit of jiggery poker in the darkroom, and this is the print that I ended up with. So I brought out with me today the Yashica Mat 124G. I've also bought a tripod for that and a cable release because I'm intending to shoot smaller apertures and get a longer exposure, but not too long because I'm using a 400 speed film. I'm going to be using Kodak Tmax 400 speed film. I got my glasses. Oh no, I just haven't got my glasses. I can't see what I'm doing. I think that's f8 and 1/8 of a second. That's what I can't see. And I've also brought out with me my light meter as well, just so I can measure the light, so I know that when I get back in the dark room, I've got a decently exposed negative, hopefully well developed, that I can make a print of. So this is the first shot that I'm going to try now, the one that I'm going to try and replicate what I did the other day, but the light coming through is nowhere near as intense, and it's just beautiful outside. It's like an overcast, light overcast day, so it's beautiful for interiors such as this. I'm going to try and get that window and that smaller window as well. You can see it there. In the frame with these two pillars, but I need to meter so that when I'm metering the shot, I'm just making sure that the highlights and my darkest part of the shadows are all within about 5 stop range, which would be ideal for me when I get back in the darkroom to make an easy print. I don't really want to be doing a lot of dodging and burning like I was the other day. And when I talk about light wrapping around like these posts here, I don't know if you can see it on the video camera, but I've got a large window there, this massive window up here, and it's just lighting up, but where it's dark over that side, it's just wrapping around this post nicely, so you know, it just gives a nice little bit of definition to the photograph. Let's take a photograph of this scene. So I've just got my composition, right, and we're focusing. So I got my glasses. Oh no, I just haven't got my glasses. I can't see what I'm doing. So I've just done some metering using my Sekonic spot meter, and I'm metering on the beams first of all, so I don't want it to go jet black. I want to get some detail in the ceiling, so I metered on that and it gave me f4 at 1/8 of a second, so that's going to give me kind of like a middle grey, but I don't want that, so I just come down a couple of stops to f8, yeah, f8, so that should bring me in a ballpark for getting detail inside that roof area. But the trouble is that glass is about 8 stops brighter than the roof area, so you know, I'm gonna have to do some compromise somewhere because I want the whole scene in. So even if I end up in the dark room doing a little tiny bit of burning in on the glass area, then so be it. That's what I'll have to do. But I'm going to shoot this at f8. I've done some other metering around the other areas, and everything's within that 5 stop zone that I want. So I'm going to shoot this at f8 1/8 of a second. Hopefully, it'll be nice. So all I'm doing at the moment is just having a little observation around the church to see where the light is bouncing, where the light is wrapping around stuff like all these archways and the beams and the chairs. I can see light just beautifully and elegantly wrapping itself around everything. At this side of the church, over that side of the church, it's a little bit more low lit. The windows aren't so big. So I've got to move around this area, and I've only got 12 shots on that camera. So hopefully I can get at least half of that roll with some really nice photographs. And here's a little bit of useless information for you. You see these things here, I don't know what they're called, but they're often in churches on the side of pews. So there's 3 entrances into this church. There's one on my right, one on my left, and one that's straight ahead. I believe it's the one straight ahead where the upper class would come in, and the one on the right with middle class, and the one on the left would be where the lower class came in. And if the lower class tried to come in with the upper class people, the clergyman would grab one of these, pull it out, stab them, get back, get back. Interesting. So I've just set up another scene. This is my scene number 2, and it's pretty much the opposite side of what I've just done. Again, I've got 2 windows in between the post. The lighting's going to be the same, so I'm going to shoot that exactly the same, 1/8 of a second, f8. The hard thing is trying to get the composition through this camera. It's a square frame, so it's not as wide as I'd like it to be, but I'm just missing out the top of the arches, but I'm making sure that I get the pillars and the window in, and everything else you can leave to your imagination. Because those last 2 shots were more of a tricky situation with the brightest part of the scene and the darkest part of the scene, this one's pretty simple. I've got no bright windows in it at all. I'm just taking a photograph of these pews. I just like the way that the light from the window up there is just lighting these little pews up. So all I need to do is just an incident reading here, back towards the camera, make sure I'm out of the shadow, like so, and it's giving me f8 at half a second, so I'm going to take this shot f8 half a second. Simple stuff. So I've got another tricky scene here. I want to get this pillar in and also the window as well. Now I've got 1/25 of a second f22 coming back out of that window, and on this pillar here, just this side where the light is, not this side, just this side here, is giving me 6 stops difference. So that's coming down at what did we say, 2.8. I could go in the middle and shoot maybe f8, but I've decided to go for f11 just to give that window, just make it a little bit less bright, if you like. So I'm shooting at f22, metering at f22 on the window, and just opening up a couple of stops to f11. Let's try that. And you can see, to give me just a little bit more range, I'm stuck behind this pew. So I've got another simple scene. The camera's down there low, and I'm looking up towards this pillar here. The focus of my attention is on this circular part of the pillar where it's joining these 2 together, and whatever follows after that, I don't really care. That's what I've got slap bang in the middle of the image, but I've still got the arches in as well. And I've just done a quick meter, a spot meter, just on this, underneath that pillar there, and that's given me f11 at 1/8 of a second. If I shoot that at f11, that's going to come out middle grey. I don't see that as being middle grey. I think it needs to be 1 stop brighter. So I'm going to come down to f8 and shoot that 1/8 of a second f8. I've already metered the background, and that's coming out just a couple of stops different, so it should make a nice print again. f8, 1/8 of a second. So that's all the church interiors done. If I've done my metering correctly and I'll do my developing correctly when I get back, I should have some really nice negatives of the photographs that I took inside that church using available light that was just coming in those windows, and like I said, wrapping around everything. It was beautiful light. I've got one more shot in the camera, so I'm just going to take one more photograph of the exterior of the church, only one, and then trot off on my little merry way back home and develop the film. So I've just finished a darkroom session making a couple of prints from the negatives, and these are the negatives here. They came out really nice. I was quite impressed with how well I'd meted up inside that church. And I developed the negatives in ILFORD's ID11 for 7.5 minutes at stock solution, and I found that to be quite a nice little combo. So then it was time to start printing, and I chose the archways that I shot from a low angle looking up. I started doing some test strips, and I just realised the blacks weren't quite reaching their blacks, and I thought, hang on a minute, this is a telltale sign that my developer's naffed, and I might have to change it over. And I did a couple more tests. I did a print as well, but the blacks weren't quite going where they needed to be. It was a little bit muddy, so I thought, okay, I need to change the developer over. That was ILFORD's multi-grade developer. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just I'd used that the other day in the darkroom, so it's obviously exhausted itself, got a little bit weak. But I tried some of this stuff. Bellini black and white paper developer. It's for warm tone paper, but I put this on the ILFORD's multi-grade that I was using. And thanks very much to silverprint.co.uk for sending me a couple of bottles of this to try out. These prints are still actually drying. There's a couple of little water droplets on there, but I need to get this video finished and get on with the gardening. But anyway, that's one of the prints that I did there where I was looking down, looking up, or looking up at the arches. That's come out really nice. No jiggery pokery there, apart from a little tiny bit of dodging here and dodging here just to show the roof beams. And all the detail in the pillars and stuff has come out really nice. The lens on that little Yashica Mat G is amazing. The quality of it is just, I find it flawless, you know. Next print I did was one of the windows, the opposite side of what I shot the other day. There it is there. That was, let's have a look at that. No jiggery pokery on that one at all. 2.5 grade filter straight off, and that one's come out nice as well. Got nice glow coming from those windows. I didn't need to burn those in, so I was quite happy with a quick darkroom session on that print. And the last one I printed, just out of interest, you might have noticed this earlier on in the video. I thought at first this, when I saw the negative, that I had a light leak, but it is in fact a lens flare coming from that window. Now when I framed this composition inside the camera, I thought I'd cut that window out, but obviously I hadn't, and it caught the top of it. And through the TLR system, I'm looking through the viewing lens, I didn't see any flare at all, but obviously the take-up lens obviously was picking up the flare, but I thought it looked quite nice, a nice little happy accident. So in future I might look out for some lens flares if I do this sort of work again. And as much as I love shooting with window light, I don't know why I never thought of this before, going into nice big churches and seeing what I could find that's got available light wrapping around it and taking pictures, whether you've got a church or a synagogue or a gurdwara or a mosque or wherever, place of worship, or even a local town hall or somewhere like that where it's got big windows. Obviously get permission first and go in and take some interesting photographs, even if you took somebody in there and use their lights inside for some portraits. I might try that next time in a video, just get the permission from the vicar first and ask them if I could take some of them for some photographs. I'm sure they won't mind. Put a little bit of money in the charity box, off I go with some negatives. And if you're wondering what the hell I was doing at the start with my camera taking pictures, I was taking photographs of the aperture and the shutter speed I was at because I'd forgot my glasses. I left them in the car, so when I got to the church, I couldn't see what aperture or shutter speed was for love nor money. I was looking down, everything was blurring. I thought, oh no, so I had to take pictures and zoom in just so I could see what I was taking pictures of. So the whole process took me longer than I anticipated. It was a little bit off-putting, to be honest with you, but I managed to get around it in the end, and I didn't find my glasses. I think I've lost them. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll catch you next time. Check out this old church, founded prior to the Norman conquest. Check out this old church.